Free corporate training, DEI removal service, how to reestablish love and truth in the workplace. Order at practicelovenotwoke@gmail.com. De-woke your employees. Play this video at your employee meetings. Class number 1 starts now. I am Will Wilberforce, and you can find my book, Woke Defined, on Amazon. I'm here to save your jobs and make your work experience more pleasant. Today, we're going to talk about a mindset held by the people who don't want to be called woke, or any other name for that matter. However, their behavior and governmental policies are very precise, and they control much of our society, so they have to have a name. Until they give us a working name for themselves, we will be referring to them as the people with the woke mindset, or more simply, the woke. Regardless of their viewpoints or behavior, we love and respect both the people who refuse to be called woke and all of the oppressed people that they claim they are defending. One of our goals is to bring them all to a better situation. Explanations for what I'm saying here can be found in my book, Woke Defined. To spread the word, I'm making it available on Kindle for only $1.99. Also, I can run a Zoom discussion group for all your company employees to answer their concerns. So what is this about? Your employer needs peace in the workplace. This is so that work can be optimally performed. Without optimal performance, the competition can destroy your company, and then you're unemployed. Not to mention, without peace, the stress levels of everyone go up and can even cause medical problems. Section 1. You may feel a deep need to talk about a woke cause at work, but the very behavior of the woke show that the policies are harmful to oppressed people, so there's no need to push them at work. Here are some of the reasons that the woke behavior shows that these policies are not worth pushing for at work. Number 1. The facts indisputably show that all woke policies harm the oppressed. If you wish to know of how these policies harm the oppressed, please read the chapter in my book concerning this. The fact that the people who taught you these things don't care about those facts is the reason why those policies are mistaken and don't need to be pushed at work. Number 2, you are unaware that the facts absolutely show that woke is harmful to the oppressed, because cancel culture is about preventing you from getting those facts. The people who try to convey that information to you are being viciously harmed, at a minimum, through severe character assassination. If the people who taught you woke ideas had the facts, they would not have had to invent cancel culture to harm the people who speak those facts. Number 3, further proof that the policies are wrong is the near complete refusal of the woke to even attempt to defend their policies by using facts. The concept of using facts to debunk their opponents is largely unheard of to them. Also, since we cannot get them to use facts to defend their policies, this is proof that their policies are not reality-based. Begging them to use facts to defend their movement never works. Number 4, you can disagree with us about woke policies, but since it is a movement that has no use for objective facts, your employer would like to request that you keep that talk out of the workplace. Number 5, what policies are we talking about? Black Lives Matter, trans activism, U.S. college-based pro-Palestinianism, and identifying people by groupings that have nothing to do with an individual's abilities or whether or not they bully people. Number 6, further proof that these policies are not based on hard facts is that in a debate, after they refuse to use facts, they try to cover that up with a dizzying array of personal character assassinations. If they had the facts, they would use the facts and win the debate. Their insults are the proof that they are dead wrong. Number 7. DEI means a higher percentage of incompetent people will be placed in positions of great responsibility. A higher percentage of incompetent people in positions of great responsibility results in disaster for the people under their authority, sometimes even death. For example, airplane pilots. Another example is Los Angeles firefighters who say it is okay that they are too small to pick up a man in a burning building. The assistant fire chief of Los Angeles before the fire stated that if she can't pick up a man in a burning building, then it's his fault. This is an example of DEI getting people killed. Oppressed peoples can use greater representation in leadership. Let me repeat that. Oppressed peoples can use greater representation in leadership. However, anything resembling affirmative action, as we explained, can result in death or further disadvantage to oppressed people. For example, when there's a 200-pound black man who can't get out of a burning building and a 100-pound woman firefighter shows up and can't pick him up, the DEI that hired her got that black man killed. Even when DEI is not getting black people killed, it's still creating more problems than it's worth. The best person must always be hired and promoted. Since oppressed peoples could use greater representation in leadership, there's an effective compromise that does not harm the capabilities of the organization. Our suggestion to your company is that they follow a policy of when there are 2 applicants for a job who are equal, then the minority is hired, but never when the minority happens to be the lesser candidate. Hirings and promotions need to be earned. Such a policy over time will even out the racial, gender, etc. imbalance. Thank you for expressing your viewpoints outside of the workplace. The workplace is not a good place to discuss politics or religion. An in-depth study of the woke movement reveals that woke is both part religion and part politics. Here's the first test. To pass the test, you have to put your emotions aside and think of what the objective answers are. Submit the answers to your employer by email. 1. Can talk about politics and/or religion in the workplace affect a person's mental and physical health? 2. If a movement is incapable of making a fact-based rebuttal, should it be promoted? 3. Where can I find the facts that would stand up in a court of law that destroy woke governmental policies? 4. In a debate, is the side that has no facts and tries to cover that up with personal attacks against their debate partner likely the one who has crafted good governmental policies? 5. If there's 2 companies in competition with each other, and one has employees bickering, and one does not, which one is more likely to go out of business? 6. The assistant fire chief of Los Angeles says that if she's too small to pick up a man in a burning building, and because of that he dies, that is his fault. Do you really believe it's the man's fault, or the DEI program that hired somebody with a smaller set of muscles? Section 2, Workplace Behavior. This class is about workplace behavior. This is where we teach your coworkers to avoid treating you bad. To give you an idea of what we're talking about, we're going to play this video for you. Do not be distracted by the fact that all the actors are children. They are describing adult workplace-related realities that are going on all across the country right now, possibly even in your workplace. Trigger warning. The woke have identified Charlie Kirk as a major force of evil and trauma in their lives. He will make an appearance here and say a few affirming words. If you are woke, you may want to notify your emergency mental health care team to be on standby. You may think that we are teasing the woke by saying this, but we have them on video actually demanding that we make trigger warnings like this.
When I grow up, I want to work for a woke company, like super woke.
When I grow up,
I want to be hired based on what I look like.
Rather than my skills.
I want to be judged
By my political beliefs.
I want to get promoted.
based on my chromosomes. When I grow up,
I want to be offended
By my coworkers.
and walk around the office
On eggshells.
and have my words policed.
By HR. Words like
Grandfather.
peanut gallery.
Long time no see.
no can do.
When I grow up,
I want to be obsessed with emotional safety
And do workplace sensitivity training.
all day long. When I grow up, I want to climb the corporate ladder.
just by following the crowd.
I want to be a conformist.
I want to weaponize my pronouns. What are pronouns?
That is exactly how we beat the woke, by mocking them. And just for the record, for the first 15 seconds, I couldn't tell if it was a parody or not. That's how you know it's good stuff.
Is the work situation that the children are describing appealing to you? Well, guess what? Almost none of the things they're describing existed anywhere on the planet until the last 5 to 10 years. Nearly all of this has been recently manufactured, then not approved by the general populace, and then forced on workplaces all across the country. No discussion is allowed on the pros or cons. Anyone attempting free speech will suffer character assassination and possible firing. These policies have not undergone peer review, the scientific method, nor public debate. In fact, these policies cannot withstand any of that. The authors and implementers know this, so they prevent it by labeling all public dissenters as people so impossibly evil that they should be shunned by everyone on the planet. Critics of woke policies will be labeled fascist, even though the people using the term usually cannot even name the only famous fascist in history without looking it up on their smartphones. These policies that the children are describing can only exist because of the absolute viciousness of cancel culture. It forces company decision makers to make decisions without getting the facts. It's like this. You're tied up in the back seat of a car on the freeway, and the driver is blindfolded. That's what life is like when free speech is not allowed. The drivers cannot see where they are driving, so they crash the car, and then the people who are hurt are the rest of us. Free speech is how we instruct the drivers of the car to avoid crashing. In a democracy, the people are supposed to be the boss, but without free speech, they cannot direct the government to avoid crashing. So we end up with poor policies that let violent people be released early from jail, resulting in soaring numbers of murdered Black people. So let's discuss each aspect of the video with the children. I want to walk around the office on eggshells. Do any of you want to live that way? What does this concept actually mean? It means there is somebody ready to punish you for things that are not actually wrong. Also, the punishment will come even though your crime is normally too trivial to be punished. Further, there's no way to know if you're doing it or not. In other words, there's no way to escape punishment. You must hyper-analyze your every behavior in order to avoid punishment, like a person walking around a room trying to avoid breaking eggshells. It's a situation where you are forced to be hyper-careful, but in spite of that, you'll end up being punished anyway. Here's some questions I want you to answer in your own mind after I read them. I will read the question and then pause to let you ponder it. If you worked in an environment described by these children, would this be stressful to you? If this was your workplace, would you end up getting less work done? How would you feel emotionally if you were in a situation like this? How could the people who manufactured this walking on eggshell situation create such negative emotions for us while complaining that somebody is giving them negative emotions? Why do we live under authorities who punish us for accidentally giving them bad feelings, and then they deliberately give us bad feelings? Let's take a moment to note that there are many great character trans people. They should be loved and respected. They are fine just the way they are. But because the trans activists harm the trans, we will use one of their common behaviors to explain what we are talking about. On social media, we can see examples of trans activists at a Starbucks being accidentally misgendered and then seeking to punish the offender by deliberately screaming bloody murder, and thus giving the offender bad feelings. That example is repeated through every branch of wokeness. They make laws that we must obey to avoid accidentally giving them bad feelings. And then they deliberately give us bad feelings through screaming character assassinations at us publicly. Only accusation matters to them. So the fact they are committing the same crime that they are punishing you for means nothing to them. They don't view people as equals. They view themselves as super citizens that can commit crimes that they punish others for doing. However, the true path to peace is to view all people as equals. Before trans activism was born, the trans never acted this way. Only trans activists bully people in the way I described here. Trans activism and the trans themselves are two separate entities and should be thought of as separate. Back to the video. A child says, "When I grow up, I want to be offended by my coworkers." What does this mean? Before the woke movement surged forward, the word offended was very rarely used. But its use has skyrocketed due to the fact that it's essential for the woke's attempted emotional manipulations. This is how the word offended is used by them. It means you have done a terrible thing and should be punished for it. You have given me bad feelings. Your punishment will be me trying to teach everyone that you are evil. Your only way to escape this punishment is to commit to jump whenever I say jump. Can you see why the boy says he wants to be offended by his coworkers? Because it means that he has a slaver-type power over other human beings. He will be able to manipulate their emotions through the made-up guilt trip that comes from saying, "I am offended." The victims of emotional manipulation usually try to escape by begging for forgiveness and obeying their new masters. The easy example, of course, is misgendering. What are we supposed to do if we misgender? Apologize and obey them. This allows the woke to establish a type of microslavery over you. They do this while simultaneously trying to punish people for slavery that occurred 150 years ago. The breaking news that they seem to be unaware of is slavery is evil. In the video, the children then discuss that there are words that can no longer be used. Such benign words as no can do are no longer allowed to be spoken. This is because the woke honestly believe that they have been granted the right to rewrite the dictionary and all people must comply. How do they justify this? They say that they must control your tongue because the horrendous evil of them or somebody else getting a bad feeling must not ever be allowed to happen. You see, over 100 years ago, some Chinese people in America used to say, no can do. The woke believe that when we say it, we are making fun of their poor English. So in the mind of the woke, it is the highest priority that those ancient Chinese from over 100 years ago, who are all dead now, must be prevented from getting bad feelings. The second stage of this is that the woke have merged their feelings with the feelings of the dead Chinese. This is through an unhealthy version of empathy called codependency. With codependency, they automatically generate feelings that match the feelings of ancient Chinese people, but do it in a psychologically unhealthy way. So when they imagine those dead Chinese getting bad feelings, suddenly they automatically themselves have bad feelings. So in their mind, all reality must be changed for them to escape those bad feelings. And when I say all reality, I mean your free will is gone. You must never use those words again. Further, since this is emotion-based with no boundaries, there will be new words added to the no-speak list every month. Words like grooming and also mom and dad. Our response to the dictionary police should always be no can do. Tell them, if you do not have a written permission slip from Daniel Webster giving you permission to rewrite the dictionary, please do not attempt to do so in the workplace. Your employer doesn't want the hassle of telling you this, so they've hired us to do it. Leave the dictionary alone or update your resume. The children in the video also say, I want to be obsessed with emotional safety and do sensitivity training all day long. Thank God we know they are lying, because these children are actors and we don't have to worry about them going on to lead miserable lives. Emotional safety is a self-centeredness so extreme that the lives of everyone else must revolve around the emotional safety of the woke. All must act like puppets to prevent the woke from getting bad feelings, even if it means doing sensitivity training all day long. All must be trained to understand the deep complexity of how not to give the woke bad emotions. I recently watched a 20-minute training video of when to use the preferred pronouns of a trans activist. There's an amazing amount of exceptions. A wealth of learning must occur just to keep a few people from getting bad feelings. A few people who, if we don't comply, will then deliberately psychologically abuse the living daylights out of our feelings. If you don't believe that these woke behaviors exist, you will see them soon enough. The universities are manufacturing our future leaders to control your lives so they don't get bad feelings. It will be happening more and more. This movement could be called the Only Our Feelings Matter movement, formerly known as the woke. But at least now you have some idea why they act this way. But in this class, it is not about making the woke feel bad. It is not about character assassination. We're not here to teach you to shun them. That's what they do. We are above that. Love them and respect them. but never comply with the slavery that they are attempting to impose upon you. We are freemen. We view all people as equals and treat them as equals. In America, the emotions of the few must never be allowed to enslave the masses. When the woke come to demand your obedience out of reverence for the ancient dead Chinese, reply with, "Sorry, no can do. I will only comply if you show me the receipt from the slave auction where you bought me. I'm a freeman. Nobody has legal control of me like you think you do. I do not cooperate with slavery. Slavery is evil. Have you heard about slavery? It's bad." Your supervisors are suffering from the chaos caused by employees trying to control each other through this emotional manipulation. They didn't take these jobs so they could spend their time breaking up playground-style fights about stupid stuff. Discussing politics and religion in the workplace is largely forbidden worldwide for very good reasons. Like I said earlier, anything woke is part religion and part politics and needs to be discussed outside the workplace. Here's a partial list so you can know what we are talking about. Institutional racism. Pushing Pride Month more than a gentle request. White privilege. The evils of Zionism. Patriarchy. Mansplaining. Cultural appropriation. Microaggressions. Gays for Gaza. The Palestinians did nothing wrong on October 7th. Anything whatsoever to do with gender. You being offended because of spoken words that most of the world thinks are okay. Expressing outrage because of pronoun non-compliance. Expressing outrage because of a fellow employee saying or wearing something that reveals they have an opinion different than yours. Using the N-word and then demanding that other people who use the N-word be punished. Critical race theory. Complaining to HR because you found an employee who doesn't agree with you 100%. Saying that Republicans are Nazis. Saying that Democrats are sellouts. Complaining that somebody else is a fascist while you are attempting to take away free speech. Picking fights for entertainment. Calling people fascists while supporting Antifa wearing black shirts and committing violence the way Mussolini's fascist black shirts did. Drama. Land theft acknowledgments. Deliberately harming somebody and then saying it's okay because I felt like doing it, then being confident that everyone will agree with you. Saying anything that boils down to, people need to obey me because I am unable to manage my emotions like a normal adult. While studying the facts before making a work-related decision, and then when the boss questions you, you reply, "Well, I knew it was the right decision because I had feelings." Telling the boss, "I am 100% confident that you will agree with me now that you know that I made the decision based on feelings." There are so many more, but I could not list them when I was writing them down because I was laughing too hard. But as preposterous as these concepts are, I've heard the woke say each one of them. The path to a healthy, happy workplace is to 1. Treat your coworkers as you would want them to treat you. All Americans are equals and should be treated as equals. 2. Do not major on the minors. This means do not start a conversation that could end up being heated over trivial things. 3. Love your neighbor as yourself. 4. You are at work to work. When you are not at work, you can follow your causes. 5. Unless your mommy owns the company, you can expect harsh consequences for your bad behavior. 6. For the big list, please request our compilation of sound bites. Obviously, we are not laying out company policy for you here. Your company will probably disagree with some of the things we've said here. We do not speak for them. However, if you continue to act this way, then your company will wise up, and there will be consequences for your behavior. Consider this a friendly warning shared with you out of love and care for your well-being. The Part 2 test. This test is for you to decide for yourself whether you want to form your beliefs based on emotion-free facts or by the feelings of you and your friends. Do you want to live in reality or the delusion of emotions? So we will say each question and then pause for you to spend some time meditating on the answer. 1. Has any woke policy ever been voted on and approved by the American people by direct vote? 2. Is it right that some people demand punishment for people who accidentally give them bad feelings while they deliberately give others bad feelings? 3. Are major business decisions best made by studying and mastering all the applicable facts or by how the decision maker feels that day? 4. Without looking at your smartphone, can you name the only super famous fascist? If you say Charlie Cook, that is incorrect. 5. Should the feelings of ancient Chinese who have all passed away be allowed to dictate what people say? 6. If your boss asks you to do work, but your feelings say no, is it okay to not do the work? 7. When making an important work-related decision, are the feelings of your friends the most important consideration? 8. We are encouraging you to love the trans, respect the trans, view the trans as fine just the way they are. Do you agree with this? 9. Forcing everyone on the planet to speak preferred pronouns is something that could motivate people to bully the trans. Do you see how this could be bad for the trans? 10. Are your supervisors looking forward to hearing about your emotions today? Hint: the company was not built around bosses listening to your emotions, nor should it be. 11. Yes or no? Will your work experience be more pleasant if there is less bickering? 12. Did we write this test with your specific emotions in mind? 13. Do you have permission from Daniel Webster to rewrite the dictionary? 14. Can you read people's minds so accurately that you know whether or not they should be punished for being racist? 15. Except for writing the Declaration of Independence and owning slaves, did Thomas Jefferson do anything else? 16. Do you believe that you've won the debate once you've told your opponent that he has evil lurking in his heart? 17. Do you believe that you won a debate on national policy once you insult your debate partner while using profanity? 18. Since the year 2000, how many people have been found guilty of institutional racism using hard evidence in a court of law? Hint, pick a number less than 1. The test is over. Your employer is not responsible for what we said here. We are. If you are offended by anything we said here, you can change our minds and get us to apologize by sending us a list of hard facts that would stand up in a court of law. You can contact us by email at practicelovenotwoke@gmail.com. It is so easy for us to offer this since the woke movement is incapable of fact-based rebuttal. So we know that none of you are going to even attempt to use facts to defend your cause. You can vent your feelings on us, call us names, use profanity, tell us about the long list of evil in our hearts. We encourage you to do so because we love you and we care for your mental health, so vent it out. We know that if you're woke, you'll have difficulty sharing your feelings in non-abusive ways, and we're used to it from the woke, so it's no problem really. We're here for you. Just keep sending us your unresearched accusations until you feel better. We love you. We respect you. We are rooting for you to go on to live an even happier life. You can do this by practicing love, not woke. For your entertainment benefit, we will play the video of the children again. Enjoy.
When I grow up, I want to work for a woke company, like super woke,
When I grow up,
I want to be hired based on what I look like.
rather than my skills.
I want to be judged
By my political beliefs.
I want to get promoted
based on my chromosomes. When I grow up,
I want to be offended
By my coworkers.
and walk around the office
On eggshells.
and have my words policed.
By HR. Words like
Grandfather.
peanut gallery.
Long time no see.
no can do.
When I grow up,
I want to be obsessed with emotional safety
and do workplace sensitivity training.
all day long. When I grow up, I want to climb the corporate ladder.
just by following the crowd.
I want to be a conformist.
I want to weaponize my pronouns. What are pronouns?
That is exactly how we beat the woke, by mocking them. And just for the record, for the first 15 seconds, I couldn't tell if it was a parody or not. That's how you know it's good stuff.